Hello. Hi, Nagaraj.
Yeah, Omar. So can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I okay? Because I've been having issues with my computer recently.
Yeah. Now you're okay. So it's okay for me. Yeah. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. I'm seeing a lot of attendees are keep on joining the webinar, so we can give them another couple of minutes, and we will start the webinar right away. Thank you. So again, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So since we are seeing people joining from Middle East and Europe, even in Southeast Asia, so I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nagarajan. I am the product manager of V2V BDS Suite, taking care of all the product related activities, the development and the marketing and the sales. So yeah, this webinar is actually we would like to focus on the backup and disaster recovery plan. Right now, you see there are a lot of malware and a lot of attacks happening, and how you can actually protect yourself from those attacks. So I would like to introduce our partner DistriLogix. He's our authorized distributor for Middle East. So he's the one taking initiative for this webinar. And yeah, from DistriLogix, Omar, the founder and the CEO of DistriLogix. So he will be the guy who is promoting V2V in all the Middle East countries. So yeah, just thought of giving you a brief introduction about V2V. So those who already know about V2V, yeah, you know better. But I see there are a lot of newbies joining for the webinar. So see, V2V founded in year 2002, and we are having more than 10 plus years of experience in selling backup and disaster recovery softwares. So we are headquartered in Chennai, which is in India, and we do have an office in US, in Nevada. So again, see, our software is actually used by more than 60,000 plus businesses and we are selling through 4,000 plus channel partners, and we reached more than 100 plus countries. So we are having a 24/7 support and 365 days. So our customers are from various countries. So we are giving tremendous support to everyone. That's why you see there are huge customers using V2V for their backup and disaster recovery. Okay, so before we get into the webinar, I thought of giving you some stats. Okay, so I got a lot of stats from various sources. So you see, this is actually from Nationwide, which is actually saying you that say 2 in 3 small businesses actually not having a proper disaster recovery plan. So you see, which mean those 2 companies if affected due to any type of malware attack or any natural disaster or whatever happens, what happens is they lost their business. They will lose their business. Okay, it's the data, which is meaning that it's only the business. Okay, so if they lose anything, if they lose the data, that's all. So it's going to be a disaster for the business. So you see, again, another stats, okay, from Center Technologies, which is actually saying that 60% of the companies which has been lost their data are shutting down within another 6 months. So, which is a really shocking information where you see there are more than half of the companies are unable to sustain if they lose the data of years and years they used to build up for the company. And again, say there are 20% of the companies are actually losing more than 15,000 USD to $5 million. So see, these stats are actually telling you that say you should have a proper disaster recovery plan if you would like to continue your business without any interruption. So again, there are that things. Okay, what are the reasons for data loss? You see, there are only 3% of the data loss occurs due to natural disaster. You know, a flood or a fire accidents or a earthquake, whatever you call natural disasters. There are only 3% percentage of the data loss, but 97% happens because of the employees. Okay, you know, it may be IT admins or IT managers or junior IT admins, whoever it may be, or even the users. Okay, who maybe delete without knowing. They delete some files, or they whatever activities they do, it may cause corruption or a system crash, or say sometime some employees might open a phishing email where they allow the hacker to get into the company, where every data will be encrypted. So again, you will be under a malware threat. So you will be under ransomware. So this is the reason why you are losing data. Okay, 97% of the time, it's actually because of the employees. And you see, this is a real-time stats from a malware tech botnet tracker. So you see the dots all over the world. So these are all the affected places due to the recent ransomwares like WannaCry or Patea. There are a lot of ransomwares we are hearing every day. Okay, it's not only those two ransomwares actually spread all over the world. Okay, but there are still there are a lot of ransomwares. Okay, this particular stats actually telling you that there is no company is actually safe. That is what you see. So you should have a proper DR or a backup plan in order to avoid or in order to recover your data after such incidents. So the question, why Vembupedia? There are a lot of backup vendors available there. Why you should have to choose Vembupedia? So see, Vembu is actually offering backup solution for more than 10 years. So it has very great experience in offering backup disaster recovery solution. And again, it's a one-stop solution. So you may have VMware virtual machines or Hyper-V virtual machines or even KVM or Zen virtual machines. You may have Windows servers running still on a physical machine or workstations. Yeah, you may have important data on your workstation, your CEO's workstation or your CTO's workstation. And again, there are Linux machines, there are Mac machines. Okay, so we provide backup solution to everything, like it may be VMware VM, Hyper-V VM, or physical machine, which may be Windows, Linux, Mac. At the same time, we do provide backup solution for Office 365 and Google Apps also. So you see, it's a one-stop solution where you have where you can back up everything from your data center. And again, say we provide multiple deployment scenarios here. So you can actually go for on-premises backup where you keep the data at your data center. It may be on NAS or SAN or local disk, whatever it is, and you can actually again replicate additional copy to your offsite location. Say you may have a DR site, so you would like to replicate data to your DR site over WAN. Yes, we provide option for that as well. Say again, say if you don't have a data center, what you can do? So you can actually replicate additional copy to Vembu Cloud. So we are running our cloud servers on Amazon Web Services. And it's again across the continent. Okay, the BDR server will choose the nearest site and it will start replicating the data. So the data will be stored on S3. So after disaster, you can download the data to any data center. It's not like you have to download from your source data center. Okay, you may be having office in Dubai, so something happened over there, disaster. So what you can do is you can just go to Sharjah, or you can just go to even UK. You can just download all those VM data and you can just start building your entire infrastructure, the entire VMware virtual machine or Hyper-V virtual machine, or even a physical machine. Yeah, again, see, this is our product portfolio. So Vembupedia suite consists of these products. The VM backup is actually help our customers to back up a VMware and Hyper-V virtual machine. Again, it's all agentless. You see, we are not installing any agent at all inside the VMs. It's all completely agentless, the VM backup. And again, see, after the full backup, it's only incremental, which is changed to block tracking incremental. So only the changes will be backed up after the full backup. Again, image backup will help you to back up the physical Windows servers and the workstations. Also, we use this image backup to back up the VMs running on Zen or KVM or any hypervisors. At the same time, you can use the same agent to install it on Amazon Web Services instance or Azure VMs. So you can back up all those instances and VMs directly to your data center. So where you can keep a copy on your local data center. If anything happens to your Azure VM, so you can just up and running it as a VM on Hyper-V or VMware or KVM on your local data center. So it's again a backup of cloud virtual machines. So the network backup is again a legacy backup solution, so which will help you to backup some specific files and folders or specific applications like MS Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, AD, and Outlook, and MySQL. So it's like see, there are still some customers don't want to back up the entire operating system because they have higher RPOs or RTOs, but they can actually ready to wait for another 1 or 2 days in order to perform the recovery. But they need some kind of protection. They want to just back up the files, important PDFs, important Excel documents, or Exchange mailboxes. So they can use network backup. And again, network backup is having another one of its kind feature, where you back up the data directly to offsite location. Say, let us assume that you have retail shops where there are hundreds of shops across the country, and on each shop you have one application running, which might have an SQL server, a billing application, and again which might have a data. It will store PDFs or whatever it is, invoices. So you can install network backup agent on each and every shops, and you can back up the files and applications directly to your DR site without even keeping a copy. So this is another feature of network backup. And the online backup is actually cloud version of network backup. Instead of keeping data on your local data center, we can just back up the data directly to Vimbo Cloud. Again, it's in Amazon Web Services. So the last product is SaaS backup, which will help you to back up Office 365 users and Google Apps users to Vimbo Cloud. Say, let us assume that say your Office 365 account is actually hacked or whatever happened. You can log into Vimbo SaaS backup console by using your credentials, and you can download the documents of OneDrive. You backed up the OneDrive for Business. You can still download the documents to your local data center, and you can restore the Outlook Office 365 emails to the same account or to the new account, the same for the Google Apps. So we are actually thought of expanding this backup solution for Salesforce, Box in near future. So apart from that, these are all the add-on products, so which I explained earlier. So if you want to keep additional copy to your offsite location or to Vimbo Cloud, you can do it. And again, the BDR 360 again, which will help you to centrally monitor all your distributed deployments. See, you may have 10, 20 distributed offices where you install BDR backup server on each site, where you keep the copy locally and replicate additional copy to your DR site. So this is your deployment scenario. If you would like to monitor all those backup activities of your data center centrally, you can subscribe for BDR 360. Again, it's a cloud console, so you can just log in from anywhere. So you can log into the console and you can monitor the backup activities across your sites. So Vimbo Universal Explorer will help you to restore individual items like Exchange mail or users, SQL databases or tables, SharePoint sites, Active Directory policies, GPOs. So you can restore those granular items instantly from the VM or disk image backup. So yeah, again, these are all the products, okay, I'm explaining about. So there are major features I just would like to cover during the demo. So you see, Vimbo offers industry's best RPO, which is less than 15 minutes. So what are the features we have for that is like quick VM recovery. So you back up a VMware VM or Hyper-V VM or even a physical Windows server or workstation, you can instantly boot them on VMware or Hyper-V or KVM. I'm saying instantly, within 1 minute or 2 minutes. So though it is a VMware VM, you can instantly boot them on Hyper-V. So Hyper-V VM, you can instantly boot them on VMware. The same, you can instantly boot the physical machine on the VMware or Hyper-V or KVM. And again, instant file level recovery, so which will help you to restore individual file. And the failover failback is right now available for VMware virtual machine. So you can keep a standby VM on target ESXi host where you can fail over it and it will take care of all those production loads. So again, the Explorer will help you to instantly restore these application items. So in terms of RPO, we allow the backups to run every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, there will be an incremental backup so that you can reduce the data loss after disaster. So if you run the backups every 15 minutes, so in case if anything happens to your source machine, so there won't be huge data loss. Still there may be very minimal data loss, but there won't be huge data loss. So we are reducing the RPO to up to 15 minutes. And again, it's all only incremental backup. So you don't need to worry that the incremental backup of VMware or Hyper-V or physical machine gonna take hours to complete, even for 1 GB or 2 GB. So we have this changed block tracking technology for all of the environments like VMware or Hyper-V or the physical Windows servers and workstations. So another important feature is automatic backup verification. Say, you may back up the VMware, Hyper-V or physical machine. So what we do is every day we run a verification test and we take a screenshot of the boot screen of the VMs or physical machines which will be backed up to Vimbu Media Backup. And the screenshot will be emailed to the IT admin so that you will not be surprised after the disaster. Okay, so whenever you're trying to perform the recovery, the day we failed, whatever happened due to anything. So this will avoid those things. And again, say there is another stats I'm seeing that there are 95% of the companies are actually not testing their DR plan. Okay, so it is highly recommended to test the DR plan at least every week. So you have to perform the test recovery of your backups in order to check whether the backup is recoverable or not. But there are 95 to 97% of the companies are actually not doing it. Either they are doing it every month or every quarter, or sometime the 20% of the companies are not even doing the test DR recovery. So we keep in mind that, and we actually developed automatic verification where this DR test will be happening every day for all the backup virtual and the physical machine on the media backup server, and the boot screen will be mailed to you so that you may aware that all those backups are recoverable. Okay, so if anything, if you see any type of blue screens or black screens of all those booted VMs or physical machine, you can actually resolve it using our KPI articles, or you can reach our support team. They will help you out to resolve all those issues. And this is another one of kind feature with Vimbu. So we developed our own file system, Vimbu High File System. It's a patent file system, and this file system is actually applied on top of your existing storage targets. Okay, so your storage target may be NAS or SAN or a local disk or a directly attached to storage, whatever it is. We apply our file system on top of it. Okay, the use, what is the use of this file system is like, this file system has its own inbuilt encryption, compression and deduplication and version control. And again, say it has a scale out option. Say let us assume that you begin with the one QNAP, which may be a close-ended QNAP, so it might have 10 TB storage. Okay, so after a couple of months it might not filled. Okay, so you might be backing up around 50 TB of data or 40 TB of data, the target got filled, so you can just attach another QNAP with your with this storage repository. That's all. So the incremental will be going to the new QNAP. Okay, you no need to move the full backups or data of one virtual machine to another drive in order to continue the incremental. So just forget about all those manual process. You can just keep on adding additional storage disk, and it will be automatically scaled. And the migration support, it is one of the unique feature of Vimbu. Because of our file system, whatever VMs you are backing up, it may be VMware or Hyper-V or Zen or KVM VMs, or it may be a physical machine, you can instantly migrate them into a VM. Say if you want to migrate a physical Windows 2003 into VM, you can just back up using our image backup software. And what we do is on the back end, we will instantly create a virtual disk like VHT, VMDK, or IMG or VHTX of that particular physical machine. And you can just copy the VHT, put it on the Hyper-V data store, and you can just create a new VM. So you migrate a physical machine into VM. So at the same time, you just copy the VMDK and put it on VMware data store, and that's all. So you can migrate it as a VMware VM. So at the same time, you can migrate a VMware VM into Hyper-V, Hyper-V to VMware or KVM. Also, if you want to migrate a virtual machine into physical, okay, there is another use case. So we do see there are customers actually doing this as well. So they want to actually isolate some specific virtual machines to a physical hardware. So what you need to do is you need to install Vimbu image backup software inside the VM Why? Because that will actually help you to back up the OS partitions and the boot formats, everything. So once the backup got completed, you can just download the VHD along with some configuration files, and you can just create a recovery CD. Okay, by using that recovery CD, you can just insert the recovery CD on the physical machine and attach the drive where you have the VHD file, and you can perform the bare metal recovery. So while creating the recovery CD, you can inject the drivers. Say if you want to inject any specific drivers, you can inject it. Let us assume that it may be having a RAID. Okay, you can just inject all those RAID drivers so that you can just do the RAID configuration before performing the recovery. So, okay, these are all some very important features with Vembu, but there are a lot of cool features. Okay, as a backup software company, you may have this automatic backup scheduling. You may have this window scheduling, like say when do you want to run the backup, when do you don't want to run the backup, or you want to control the bandwidth throttling of the backup job. Say you want to specify the throttling for the backup due to these servers. So there are a lot of basic features available. So you can just go through it by downloading the software. You can do the trial because we are offering a 30-day free trial, unlimited features. So you can just do the trial and you can actually experience the use cases of Vembu PTC. So you see, this is the architecture diagram of Vembu software. So this BDR backup server, okay, it may be a virtual or physical machine where you install a piece of software in this machine, and from there you can back up the VMware, Hyper-V, physical machines, and again these applications. And optionally you can replicate it to OpsDR or Cloud DR, or you may back up all those file applications or Google Apps Office 365 directly to Vembu Cloud. Okay, so the Vembu portal is nothing but it's a license server, so you can actually manage all those licenses from this particular centralized console. Yeah, this is a system requirement for the media backup server. Say we provide Windows installers and Linux installers. So you need to have a 64-bit machine. We recommend at least 8 GB RAM minimum. The recommended is 16 GB. So if you increase the RAM of the media backup server, you see better performance. So if you double the RAM, you see double the performance. And say at least you should have a 1 Gbps connection in order to see the better performance for the backups during the backups and recovery. Okay, as I told, say we support on-premises deployment and hybrid deployment where you replicate additional copy to cloud, Vembu Cloud, or you replicate additional copy to your OpsDR. See, if anything happens to your entire site, you can just up and running all those VMs, physical machine on your OpsDR site, and you can just continue your business within a few minutes without having to wait for a long time. So it's a remote office, branch office deployment where you synchronize the VMs or data from data between each offices. So if anything happens to your one of the site, you can still functional from other site. Okay, so so if you want to do a cloud backup directly to Vembu Cloud, yes, you can do it. So again, say we provide backup server scaling, like say we have inbuilt clustering concept. Say let us assume that you begin with 116 GB physical machine to receive the backup job, and let's assume that it's actually handling up to 1,000 virtual machines of backup. So if you want to expand it, so you can just add another machine with the same hardware configuration, and that's all. Okay, so it will take care of sharing the load between both the nodes. Okay, so you can just keep on adding additional node where it has to be connected with a centralized storage target and centralized database server. That's all. You can just keep on increasing the computing, so which will start sharing the load among all those backup servers. Okay, so these are a few of our customers. You see the customers from US, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, or Malaysia, Middle East. Okay, so Sweden, Australia, New Zealand. There are customers from everywhere. Okay, so say I'm having a machine with me, so I thought of giving you a live demo of Vembu. So see, all you need to do is just go to vembu.com and just click on download. See, again we recommend Windows for the backup server installation, because say to use the Linux version of the software, you should have at least basic Linux knowledge. So if you need a Linux version, you can contact us. give you the download. To do the trial, you can just use Windows 10. So once you are confident with the software, you can just use any one of these server operating system for the production environment. So you download the installer from this location, and you can install it on the physical machine. Okay, so we recommend a physical machine again. Say I installed this software on Windows 2012 R2, which is having native Hyper-V. I enabled the Hyper-V role again on my physical machine. So once you install the software, okay, so you can just access it from the browser, okay, any browser. It may be the Firefox or IE or the Chrome. So you should have to see the recommended versions. Okay, so you just download after installing. So you can just click on the icon, okay, desktop icon or the tray icon, and you can log in with credentials. So if you want to change it, you can change it during the installation or after the installation. So the first thing what you need to do is you need to add the storage target. So you can actually add the local storage target, or you may add the network targets like remote. Okay, so it may be SAN or it may be NAS, whatever it may be. And again, so you can keep multiple storage repositories. Like say, if you want to keep one storage repository with D drive and E drive for particular backup jobs, or you want to create another storage repository where you want to keep them for another backup jobs. Okay, so you can actually do it. So once you configure the storage targets, you see it's very simple, and it's again say based user interface, which will help you to configure the backups with a few clicks. Okay, so very simple. So to back up the VMware virtual machine, just go to backup and click on VMware vSphere, and you just add the credentials of E6 host or the vCenter. Okay, just enter the credentials inside the host or the vCenter. So either you can back up all those machines if you want to search, or you want to list it in priority like alphabetical order, you can do it also. So these minor features will help you to select the VMs for the backup, and you have option to exclude a specific virtual machine or a specific disk from that particular virtual machine. So you can just exclude any specific disk. If you want to exclude it from the backup job, you can exclude it. So again, say if you're backing up entire virtual machine by selecting the host, so whatever VMs you are adding, creating after the backup job will be automatically included for the backup. So you no need to manually include those backup jobs, VMs every time when you are creating the new VM with the backup. And the application available. Okay, so if you have the Windows Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, or AD running on those VMs, you need to enable this option. So which will help you to check the consistency of the applications. So we use VSS Writer. So and again, say if you want to truncate the transaction logs, you can just enable this option. So after completing the successful backup, it will truncate the transaction logs with the database. So again, say how frequent do you want to run the backup? Either every 15 minutes or every 1 hour, or you have various options. Okay, multiple options. Again, automatically the jobs will be triggered. So it's again one-time configuration. Say, do you want to run the backup during the weekdays or during the weekend? You can specific or alternative days. You can specify it. Or if you want to run the backup job daily at some specific time, you can specify it. Okay. So, or you want to run the backup job only once in a week or alternative days in a week at specific time, you can do it. So there are various options available. And say if you want to run additional full backup for the VMs, you can just enable this option. Say every quarter do you want to run the additional full backup, or every 6 months or every 1 year, you can just specify this option. And say there are options to enable or disable retention. Say let us assume that say we perform the retention. So say our retention is completely different from others. Okay, because to say we are actually keeping the backup data in our own proprietary format, where the VM data will be splitted into multiple small chunk files of 100 MB or 10 MB, and we apply compression, encryption, deduplication. So if you enable this basic retention and you want to keep a lost 7 days of recovery points, what we do is, so if you run every hour incremental, on the second day we will merge all those hourly incremental into one recovery point. So what happens when merging those incremental into one recovery point? So we eliminate the identical blocks and we will only keep the unique blocks. So it's kind of a deduplication, post-process deduplication, which will help you to reduce the storage utilization further. Okay, so you enable this basic retention in order to avoid consuming a lot of storage on the targets. So there are various options. Either you can keep up to 90 days of a recovery point or 99 days of recovery point with the basic retention. Or if you want to keep a daily recovery points for every year, okay, so just enable this option. End of the year, you will have one full backup and 365 day of daily recovery points. So you can actually have a GFS kind of retention, which is grandfather, father, son kind of retention with this option. And again, you can specify the target. Either you can actually use the default repo where you have this NAS or SAN connected, or you want to just back up a specific virtual machine data to a specific target. You create multiple storage repositories and you select each and every VM as a separate backup job. So one VM will be stored on D drive, another VM will be stored on E drive. So if you want to do it. That's all. So you can just name the backup job and that's all. So you see, it's very simple, 4-step process where you just select the virtual machine, setting up the retention and naming the backup job, and you run it. That's all. And say in terms of performance, okay, so for VMware virtual machine, we support 3 types of transports, which is SAN transport mode, hot hat, and network mode. So if you have a complete SAN network on your data center, by default we use SAN transport mode to transfer the data, so it will be very fast. And if you install this PDR backup server or VM backup agent on any one of the VMs on the ESXi or vCenter server, so which will use a hot hat transport mode, again that will give you better performance during the backup and recovery. The third option is network. So if both these options are not available, we use the legacy network mode in order to back up the data. So that's all. So you see, it's very simple to back up the VMware virtual machine. Likewise, for the Hyper-V. So you just add the Hyper-V host information on this console, same console, and you are good to back up that Hyper-V server. So you just click backup, which will list out all the VMs running on that particular Hyper-V server. And the same options again, say you have option to exclude VM or disk, and say since you are backing up the entire Hyper-V host, what happens is if you actually adding new VM, it will be automatically included for the backup. And say for Hyper-V, since we are using VSS snapshot technology, application aware is by default enabled. And if you want to enable the log truncation after successful backup, you can enable it. And say again, everything else is the same. Okay, so you can specify the frequency, how frequent do you want to run, and you can enable the retention policies and the target for the backup. That's all. So you can name the backup job. So you see, from one single console, you are backing up the VMware virtual machine of your data center or Hyper-V virtual machine. That's all. At the same time, if you want to back up the Windows servers and workstations, again, it's very simple. Just go here and enter the host name of that particular Windows server. Enter the IP address or host name of that particular Windows server. That's all. Okay, we inject the agent. Okay, so for the physical machine, we use our integration service. We inject that particular agent inside that physical machine. And while configuring the backup, it will ask you to perform the reboot, because say we inject a driver inside that particular machine, which required a reboot. So you need to reboot the machine in order to back up that particular physical machine. And you can back up, say if you want to back up entire VM, entire physical machine, you select all the volumes. Again, same process. Okay, so you enable the application hour process. And if you want to truncate the logs, and again, so you can specify the frequencies, how frequent do you want to run the physical machine backup. And again, you see for these backups like VMware or Hyper-V or the physical machine, it's all completely giving you CBT tracking, like say after completing the full backup, only the changed blocks will be backed up. Say for the Hyper-V and Windows servers, we developed our own proprietary CBT driver, For the VMware, we are using these storage APIs. So rest of the options are the same. Okay, there are no difference at all. So you see, it's that much simple. That's all. You name the backup job. So to backup these things like Windows servers, workstations, or VMware Hyper-V VMs, you just do these backups. That's all. Okay. So okay, let's go to the recovery part. Okay, how can you recover these VMs, physical machines, and the disk? Okay, you see on the recovery, there is a Hyper-V VM, there is a Windows server, there is a VMware VM. So you can just click on restore, and that's all. You just select the quick VM recovery and click next. You select the recovery point, and you select the virtual machine which you want to perform the recovery. And now you can select Hyper-V or the VMware. Okay, so here say for the Hyper-V backup, say on the user interface, only Hyper-V option will be given right now. So to perform recovery on the VMware, there is a small workaround. Okay, yeah, still you can instantly boot it as a VM. Just click next. So just click OK. So there will be a VM created right away on this Hyper-V. Okay, once it is actually initiated. So based on the size, okay, it will take few minutes, and based on the applications running inside the VM, okay, it will take a few minutes in order to start the VMs. So simultaneously you can actually boot VMware VM, because say there is no restriction, because say since we use this local, the Hyper-V, which is again coming along with this Windows servers, we can actually boot multiple VMs. Okay, so you can select and just click on restore. Just click restore. Okay, so which will help you to boot the VM. Okay, so you just click on double click, and yeah, so you can start the VM normally. So as a regular VM. So you see, this is very simple to perform the recovery. So once the VM is booted, you can just log on to the VM using the same credentials. So again, it's applicable for physical machine, I'm saying. So if you want to boot the physical machine, it's very simple. Okay, so the same option, say say I'm having a physical machine over here. Just click on restore. So I'm doing it with the live console. Okay, I'm not actually having it's actually booted on the target. Okay, already. So you just select the VM. Physical machine, say this particular physical machine having a CZ drive, just select Hyper-V, the native Hyper-V, just restore. So this particular BDS server is actually acting as a disaster recovery server. Okay, so that if you have enough memory available, okay, you see there's a VM. Again, you can check the date and time, okay, which is 7th of July, 4th of June, and 1:41. Okay, so you see 1:41 AM. So you can check the date and time when it is got booted, and that's all. You can just connect, okay, which will show you the login screen right away. So yeah, so which will boot the VM, physical machine as a VM immediately. That's all. So again, say the boot screen, you can actually see over here. So yeah, it's started booting. Okay, so you can just log in after once it is actually booted. So you see, as I'm actually showing you, it may be a VMware VM, or it may be a Hyper-V VM, or it may be a physical machine. You can instantly boot it as a VM on Hyper-V. At the same time, you can boot it as a VM on VMware. Okay, again, another thing is like, so whenever you are in this recovery mode, you cannot perform other activities. Okay, you should have to unlock, you should have to shut down the VMs. Okay. Before you just do other things, or a file level, let's say, instead of doing the file level recovery. So if you want to do other recoveries, or if you want to allow the backup to be continued, again, it's an instant recovery. Okay, it's not actually doing any type of recovery like a restore process at all. So it's actually booted instantly by reading the data, which is still compressed and encrypted and deduplicated. And see, there is a drive called the VMware virtual drive will be created on the media backup server. Again, it's a virtual drive. It will not occupy any space at all on this machine. So you just go here. You see. So for every incremental, there is a bootable full VHT, VHTX, IMG, and VMDK available. So it's all virtual again. Say it's all completely virtual. So if you want to migrate this as a VMware VM, you can just copy this and put it on the VMware data store, and you can create a new VM. So you can simply migrate it as a VM. So yeah. So to perform file level recoveries, okay, you just select the file level recovery option and click on next, and select the timestamp, the recovery timestamp, and just you can expand the VMs, okay, volumes, and then you can actually check the files. Okay, so if you want to restore any specific file or folder, you can just restore it. So by the way, you can actually restore individual files, and there are another options available. Say if you want to compress the restored files, so you can enable this restored file to be downloaded to other machines. Say let us assume that you are actually performing this recovery from other machine, okay, from your other site, okay. If you want to download that particular file on your other site, just enable this option. So all those restored data will be compressed into zip. It will be given as a download link, and again you can actually protect it with the encryption password. So once you receive the download link, so in order to unzip it, you just need to enter the password, whatever you are creating. Okay, so this is very simple to perform the recovery. So yeah, at the same time you can perform the bare metal recovery of the physical machine, or granular recoveries from the virtual machine. Say let us assume that you want to perform exchange granular recovery. Okay, so for that you need to select this option, disk management mount. You just click on next. Okay, so it's in the recovery mode. So you have to release it from the recovery mode, okay, before you perform any other activities. Yeah, that's all. So just click, okay, and just click on disk management mount. Just click next. I'm sorry, I'm choosing wrong backup. Okay. Now to shut down the VM. Off. Yeah. So you see that these are all we actually developed the console that say you may actually do some, you may not be having the better understanding of the product, but if you do any mistake, okay, our software will let you know that say you just need to do this before perform any other activities. Okay, that's what it's telling me. So I have to shut down the VM before I release it from the recovery mode. Okay, because that's still inactive. So I'm now releasing it, and just click on restore, and just click file or restore. So what it will do is it will actually mount the source disk on the media backup server machine. Okay, just click on restore now. Okay, that's all. So you see there are additional volumes will be created right away. So where you can actually explore it, you see there are additional volumes. This is nothing but it's actually created by reading the data which is compressed and encrypted. You can see that whatever data available on the source machine, so it will be available as a regular explorer. So if you want to copy the files, you can copy it. But we are actually mounting it to perform the granular recoveries. So of exchange, say this is the exchange machine. So I'm just click on next using the exchange recovery tool, where I can open the EDB file of by browsing the location of the storage and just click on restore. So which will list out all the mailboxes. Okay, that's all. So you can just explore the mailbox and you can just read the emails, or you can actually download the emails, and you can actually download the entire mailbox into PSD format, or you can just upload it into the Outlook. So you see, you can just read the email over here. Just you want to restore that particular email, you can save it into EML or HTML format, or you can export it into PSD format. So if you want to export the entire inbox into PSD format, you can just select the inbox and we can just click on export. Or if you want to restore entire mailbox of one particular user, you can just click on this and export it. So yes, you can export it into PSD format. Later on you can import it with the Exchange server. At the same time, you can restore directly to the Exchange server from this console as well. So by the way, you can perform the granular recoveries of Exchange SQL, SharePoint and AD. So it's very simple. You just select the option, you select next, you select the database. Before that, you need to mount it with the media backup server, and that particular VM or physical machine. Okay, so anything. Okay, so you just explore it. Okay, expand it, and you see if you want to see the users, you can actually restore the objects or restore the container, or you can export the objects to desktop or some other location. So there are various options available. So it's very simple to perform the recoveries with the Vimeo PDA suite. Okay, and again, as I told you, optionally you can actually replicate additional copy to your own data center or to Vimeo Cloud. You can choose it, and again, so in terms of license, it's very simple. So you just go to vimeo.com and just go to the pricing section. Say for the VMware and Hyper-V virtual machine, you see there is a separate tab for each and every backup type. Say you just pay what you are going to use. Okay, if you want to just back up VMware virtual machine, you can just pay for it. Or if you are going to back up the data to your on-premises, you just pay for it. Okay, you no need to pay for offsite, which is not a bundle. Okay, and again, I said there is no minimum requirement at all. So you can purchase one CPU socket, you can purchase two CPU socket as per your requirement. So you see, for VMware virtual machines, it's actually designed per CPU socket. Say on a host, you may have two CPU sockets, and you may have 20 virtual machines running on it. So you just need to pay $720 per year in order to back up those virtual machines to the local target. If you want to optionally replicate additional copy to your offsite location, you need to pay additionally $90. Or if you want to replicate additional copy to Vimeo Cloud, you just need to pay for the storage, which is as low as 0.5 cents based on your storage purchase. And again, you see there is a 50% flat discount available for small business. See, as I told you, due to this ransomware, there are many small businesses that are affecting. Okay, so we thought of giving options for the small businesses to use a sophisticated backup software to protect their data or to create a DR plan. Because right now small businesses are using a manual process where they copy the data and put it on the disk or put it on a USB disk, and they just keep it in another location. So those things you cannot do it regular basis. Okay, you have plenty of other works where you need to focus on. So let Vimeo BDR take care of backing up your small businesses servers. Okay, so if you have less than 6 CPU sockets of VMware or Hyper-V, you will get 50% flat discount on the license price. And again, we do provide the free edition. Okay, so you can back up unlimited virtual machines, again with the limited features. So you can actually check this the feature availability on our free tool section. So or on the same pricing page, you can compare the features. Okay, what all the features you will get with the free edition and the paid edition, so you can check. So if you want to say by default, whenever you download the software, you will get the unlimited feature trial for 30 days. After that, if you want to use the free edition, it will be converted into free edition. So again, for the Hyper-V, it's $240 per CPU socket. Again, to back up all the VMs running on one host which has one CPU socket, you just pay $240. Okay. For the physical machine, for each physical machine, which is $180 per year. And again, see, all these licenses are included. Okay, so 24/7 support. You don't need to pay additional price for the support. Okay, it's all included, free support and product upgrades. So another thing is, say for workstations, for on-premises backup is completely free. So you can back up unlimited workstations, okay, without paying any money to Vimeo. And again, it's unlimited features. Okay, there is no limitation. You will get the full backup during the first backup, and after that everything will be incremental, changed plug tracking incremental. So during the disaster, you can instantly put it as a VM on VMware or Hyper-V to perform file level recovery. So for the workstations, it's all completely free, the local backup. So if you want to do offset replication, you need to pay $30 per workstation. Okay, so you check the pricing, it's very simple, and again you just pay what you are going to use. That's all. So yeah, that's all from my side. And yes, you are having a lot of questions. Okay, so I see my colleague Emmanuel is actually receiving a lot of questions, and he is actually responding to you immediately. So if we are unable to answer your question, what we do is we will actually reply you over the email, and we will actually get in touch with you through email. So Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the session. So it's almost 1 hour, I think so. So if you have any questions, okay, in future about the software, or if you have any queries about the license or whatever it is, so you can actually reach our support team at vembu-support@vembu.com, or our sales team at vembu-sales@vembu.com. So, or you can visit our website www.vembu.com. And so you can also dial the numbers given here, so reach our support or sales agents. And thank you very much for joining the session, and I hope it's informative. Don't forget that we do offer free versions, so if you want to just experience the software for 6 months or 1 year, you can just try with it, and then if you are confident enough to go with the software, you can just purchase the paid version. And again, I would like to tell you that we are competing with all those backup vendors like Veeam or Veritas, or any other backup software vendors like Altaro, Unitrans, Acronis, Nakivo, anyone. Okay, we are actually when compared with other backup software, we are 50% lower than them, off of the price, or sometimes we reduce. If you are using Veritas, I'm having a customer used Veritas, switched to Vembu, he is saving almost 80% of his cost, which is right now which he was investing with the Veritas. So that kind of savings you can do with the Vembu, still you have all those features available. So again, once again, thank you for joining the session. And I'm leaving this session for another couple of minutes, because we still receive questions. So you can actually type your questions on the question box, and we will try to respond it immediately, or you will receive the email from our support team. Thank you very much for joining this session. Have a great day.